Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here. Just want to go through 11 different management fee and leasing fee types. You think, oh my goodness, there's a lot. Yeah, there is. And I've been doing this for 20 years now. And this is a culmination of information and things that I've seen and observed working over 3 countries, Australia, New Zealand, and the United States. So I'm just taking this straight out of my book, The PM Fee Script Secrets, where we've got 34 fees and fee packages that we've seen charged over the 3 countries. And that's the rear part of the book. But of course, we've got over 50 fee objections that you would possibly ever get and the responses to them. So it's a very useful book, probably one of our most popular books available. You can get the book. It's free. We're paid for the printing. All you've got to do is pay for the shipping. Go to stopdiscountingfees.com or just go to igtcentral.com and you'll find all of our books there. They're all on a free offer, just pay shipping. All right, let's get into it. So right at the back of the book, we're just going to get into, firstly, the 5 different management fee types. So the first one is very standard one. We're all familiar with a traditional management fee of a percentage of the rent collected. Could be 5%, 6%, 7%, 10%, or anything like that. So that's the most common one that we see across all countries. But you've also got a secondary one there where it's not just based on rent collected, but management fee based on all monies collected. So if you're collecting water on behalf of owners, then it's Mr. Smith, we charge 8% for all monies collected. So that's rent and water charges. Very, very easy, isn't it? To say all monies collected as opposed to rent collected. But when you add in the all monies collected, suddenly now you're getting paid for collecting water. And I do appreciate the fact that Victoria, you just charge your tenants just pay direct to the water department, but the rest of Australia, we don't have that. So we have to go to the tenant to recover that. I think in parts of New Zealand, it's the same. Okay, so that's the first 2 management fee types. The next one is fixed rate per month, whether it's $200, $300 fixed per month, or it could be $25 a week or $50 a week. So it's a fixed amount, all right? And you want to make sure you have got clauses in your management agreement that allows those to be adjusted up. Hopefully you don't have to get another document signed, but that comes down to the strength of your agreement and, of course, the legal advice that you've received. Otherwise, it could be an actual problem for you. Just keep in mind as well that when it comes to selling a rent roll, people are used to seeing management fee percentages, 8%, 7%, 6%, whatever, but they start seeing fixed amounts. It could put the purchaser off as well, all right? So just be aware, anything off the traditional road, done traditionally, can cause negativity, particularly when it comes to purchases of a rent roll. Okay, next, the next one is, of course, the all-inclusive management fee, where we're saying we're not going to charge a leasing fee separate or a marketing fee separate. Any other fees are all in that management fee, all inclusive. Now, I'm a fan of it, but only when the number you're using is correct. I've seen too many that are their all-inclusive management rate is just too low. Now, in our book, the When You Were Secrets, second book here, When You Were Secrets, I go through a whole chapter on how to sign up the all-inclusive fee. And I charged, and I was working with a rent roll in Adelaide where we were doing 16.5%. I've worked with rent rolls in Western Australia where we're doing 18.5%. So I give you a breakdown how I signed up 70% on 16.5%. So 70% of clients on 16.5%. And the script that I used, it's all in my book, When You Were Secrets. Again, just go to igtcentral.com for our books. Okay, moving on. So number 4 is the all-inclusive fee, and then the next one is the hybrid all-inclusive. So that's where you may have a lower management fee, but then adding on your leasing fee and marketing fee as well. So you may choose to do that. I think that's sort of fine-tuning and refining the all-inclusive fee further, because if you've got a stable tenant for 5 years, well, the owner is paying the leasing fee in that all-inclusive management fee for 5 years. If you're separating the leasing fee in the owner's mind, for some, it may just seem that bit more fairer to charge on a user pays basis. Okay, next is the next management fee type. Actually, there's a number 6 there, is a vacancy fee. So this is where I've seen agents, very, very few though, understand that when the property's vacant, you're earning nothing. So they have a vacate fee because they're still responsible for the property. It's still on their books. They still have to go out there and check on it and make sure the garden's okay. So it's still being managed as such, but not just with a tenant yet. And so they're charging that $50 a week or something like that. I've got here that, again, the fee is rare. And it's charged once at $99 per month, or it's just charged at $25 a week or something like that. But there's still charging going on, though it is still vacant, which you and I know that makes sense. Okay, next, 6 different leasing or lease renewal fee types. Of course, the standard leasing fee, which covers the not just selecting of the tenant, processing application, but the full process, everything. Where includes the ingoing inspection and getting the induction done and all of that. That traditional leasing fee covers all of that. Now, a lot of agents charge, say, 1 week's rent or 2 weeks' rent plus tax, GST, goods and services tax, we call that here in Australia, and of course in New Zealand. But there are, when you go to America, of course, they use denominations of month's rent. So the leasing fee is half a month's rent, or 75% of a month's rent, or 100% of a month's rent. So they're the typical charges that we see on that. The next one is the annual leasing fee. This is a real rarity, and I've seen it sometimes charged in Northern Territory, but even less, I've actually seen it pop up in Tasmania as well. Very, very rare, like the Tasmanian tiger. So the way the annual leasing fee works, it might be, for example, charging 1 week's rent year in, year out, the same time of year. There is no leasing fees charged. It's charged annually, whether there is turnover or not. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? But those agents that charge it, still charge it, they justify it, they get it, it's not a problem, okay? All right, the next one is the lease preparation fee. And this is very common in New South Wales, but certainly I do not see this charged anywhere else. And this related to a number of years ago where they used to be able to charge a tenant, say, $30 for preparation of a lease. Legislation changed. You can't charge a tenant anything, which is normal now through Australia and New Zealand. And they simply then on-charged that $30 to landlords. Then GST came in. It's now $33. And since then, a lot of agents are still charging $33. But now we're helping agents take it up to $99 is very, very common. So, yeah, big shout out to New South Wales on that fee. Okay, the next one is the tenancy database check fee. So this is where you're going on to a database like NTD or Ticker. I'm not even sure if they're still existing. I think Ticker is still there, where you're going and checking on the national tenant default records and you're charging for it to actually access those. So pretty much straightforward. The next leasing type fee is, of course, a lease renewal. So after the initial fixed term is finished, you're then renewing it for a fixed term. The problems I see there is people just not charging enough. You can't just charge $40, $50, $60 for making a couple of calls. You've got to look at what's the cost to the owner of the tenant on a non-fixed when they give notice in a quiet time. There could be weeks and weeks and weeks of vacancy the owner has to fund. And then the releasing fee, marketing, all that sort of thing. With a fixed term lease, tenant breaks that, they've got to fund all or most of those costs. So you want to keep the owner in a fixed term lease for their protection. And if it's saving them thousands and thousands of dollars, there's no harm in charging, for example, half a week's rent or 1 week's rent, depending on what you do. All right. Okay, the next one is the new tenancy onboarding fee, or just an onboarding fee. This is where you get an inherited tenant. And there's still lots of work, though the tenant's already in place. And we're seeing agents charging now up to 1 week's rent on that one. Okay. Easily justifiable. Even if you charge half a week's rent, still justifiable. It's still work, but you've got to make sure that you're paid properly. So there you have it. There's actually 6 different management fee types and 6 different leasing types, all in our book, the PM Fee Script Secrets. In all, we've got over 34 fees and fee packages to have a look at and, of course, consider. Take care.